Daniel, what's up? Caught the crud, Jeremy. I got the damn toddler crud again. Oh, last night was something else, dudes. Was something else. Sleep was non-existent. Yeah. So I was feeling kind of crummy a couple days ago. Not bad. Like you just could tell you kind of had a germ. Well, not last night, but the night before was a sleepless night. Kids wouldn't go to sleep. Slept like 2 hours, and I think my immune system finally said, "Oh, you're not going to sleep? Okay. Well, we give up too." So my immune system gave up on my 2 hour of sleep night, and now I feel crummy, but we're working through it. Little kids are walking cesspools. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So, let's see. Barney's trying to give TK a headache. Hacked back. Oh. Up the vitamin D and zinc. You're probably right, Burns. You're probably right. I wonder if those. I got a bag full of liquid IV over there. I wonder what that's got in it. It should have good stuff in it, right? Maybe I'll drink one of those. What did Daniel say? Back home. Daniel, you still got the crud. Not sick anymore. That's good. Welcome back. So, where do I begin? I guess I would probably need to begin with a bottle of water. What is this? That's alcohol. Trying to find a good candidate. The last 2 days, my head has weighed 1,000 pounds, and my nose looked like a dripping faucet. Jeremy, my nose hadn't been like running; it's just been like clogged, which I don't know which is worse, to having to constantly wipe snot off your face or to just be congested. Heart surgery and stroke during surgery been pretty much like, ooh, Daniel, that sucks. Sorry, dude. Can you show us how to properly sand off the clear coats of your bait? I want matte finish. Oh, Burnsy. Well, to put that hack to bed, for those that are interested in sanding your baits and making them matte finish, there's only one way to do that, and that is with matte clear coat. Because that's the beautiful thing about clear coat. You can sand it down and you can make it look however dull you want to, but when that shit hits the water, it's glossy as it ever was. So, and I can show you. let's find a bait. Let's find a bait. This one's pretty glossy. A little middle end. Has a beautiful, shiny gloss paint job on it. So, what grit would be about even to a, I don't know, a nail pad, a nail sponge? I might have to go into the other room. There's a red one. This is a little more coarse. So we'll knock the shine off of this thing, make it look nice and dull, matte finish. Matte finish. So we don't scare those bass off. Let's see. All right. We're looking good, dudes. Correct, Kyle. If it didn't work, Burns, you wouldn't be able to polish baits out to make them shine. Because what you're actually doing, Darius, you want to try it? You want to try it matte finished? I painted this for myself, but you can have it if you want it. I literally, the last thing I need is another bait. Maybe we can set up a trade. So let me just make sure this thing is nice and dull. All right. So what happens, if you're curious? So now this bait has a bunch of little micro scratches in it, right? That's what makes it look dull. It has all these little micro scratches in it. All right. Looks pretty dull. Looks pretty matte. Wax and grease remover will work. Let's see here. I have a cup. No. Here, we'll just pour it on the floor. All right. Wait a damn minute. Wait. Hold up. This dry spot with no juice on it is matte, but the wet side looks gloss. Wonder what would happen if you threw it in water and reeled it. So, the moral of the story is that shit doesn't work. But what does work is actual flattening agent in a clear coat. That looks matte underwater. That's the only way to do it. So if you want matte clear coat, you need matte clear coat. I think I actually have a picture on my phone, to where I took a picture of two jerk baits. One I'd painted with gloss and one I painted with matte. And You can see the sheen difference underwater, but sand in the sand in the you know sand in the bait's clear coat is in fact not remaining matte finish once it is in the water. Um, correct. Matte clear is the only way to do it correctly. So sorry if anybody went out and sanded all their baits off. If you would like to regain that shine outside of the water, not just in the water, you can get you some sort of wax or a rubbing compound or something, and you could do it with a. I might be able to do it with this wax. I don't. Oh no, I don't know if it's got enough. I don't know if it's got enough. I don't know if it'll cut enough to shine it up, but it might. We'll see. We shall see. Probably not, but we're gonna check it out. We're gonna check it out anyway. If we can regain the glossiness. What's happened to this stuff? Marty, have you ever tried adding a flattening agent to epoxy? No, this didn't cut enough. It didn't cut at all. Because I get that question a lot. What kind of clear coat do you, or what kind of matte clear coat do you use? My answer is any one you want. Just add a flattening agent to it. It's not some like special shit that like, some special clear coat. There's different brands of flattening agent, but yeah, there's not some miracle product that like only you have to like search out to find this like magical matte clear coat. You can literally take anything and add a flattening agent to it and it'll make it matte. Some are better than others, but yeah, just depends on what you're doing. So, or what products you like. So, the only problem with matte clears is they are typically weaker than their gloss counterparts because you are cutting your clear coat with a flattening agent, so therefore you're taking all the solids of the clear coat and you're spreading them out and making them bigger and more diluted by using a flattening agent. So, and you typically, are going to need a little more reducer because the flattening agent's a little thick. So then you start diluting your base of solids in your clear coat and stretching it out to where you have, say you had 100 parts of solids raw, like in your typical clear coat gloss that you're going to spray, you have all the solids, and say there's, for lack of better terminology, we would say there's 100 solids in there. Well, you put 50% flattening agent and then another 10% gloss, and now your hundreds have spread into 40s. So you do break down the strength of the clear coat by making it flat but it's not like it's just gonna fall off. But you do you do you do run into that. Um, so just food for thought. John D is actually running good. Knock on wood this morning. Ran great. Um, TK have snot dingleberries on his chest hairs. Yeah, probably got a nice little jungle going. Uh, Mr. Marshall, we're just debunking clear coat myths. Just dunked an ABS bait in water that it's like steel wool tool, and it definitely still has a glossy look. Uh, I don't know. What are you saying? The paint job doesn't look as bright. I mean, that should have no effect on the paint job because I mean, you're there's no way of dulling the paint. It's everything you see is from the clear. I don't know. I mean, there might be. I'm sure the is there oh, to the paint job. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. Uh but I mean, how many paints are actually glossy? Like I'm trying to think. Like rattle can paints typically are, but most of the stuff that I spray color wise is not going to be glossy at all. Um I guess I don't know what I mean. If you're trying to cut iridescents, you're going to cut down the flake, but those are just going to light back up when you color them. But paint wise, I don't know. Uh, but yeah. But if it makes you feel better, by all means, go sand all your baits down to matte because you can revive them. You just need some rubbing compound and maybe a little elbow grease or one of these Dremel Versas with a foam pad, and you can hit the little button and polish that thing right up, and it will be shiny and beautiful again and glossy, just like it is when it hits the water with your matte clear coat. Um, so take it for what it's worth. I've seen that myth floating around for years, and it sounds good in theory, but unfortunately. South Jersey, try it on your South Jersey, try it on your Epic Shed. Um, and Kyle, like I paint. I will be 100% honest with you. I typically only use matte clear coat, or they call it flat. Matte is not, I don't think, the proper terminology. If any time I've ever talked to somebody in the industry about a matte finish, they typically call it a flat finish. Matte is a different sheen; it's a little shinier. Um, but flat finish is what I try to spray. Um, but I don't do it for bite purposes. I do it because I think it looks awesome. So um, the last time I tried and get the reason I say that is because the last time I tried to reorder flattening agent, I called the people um, and said I don't see the flattening agent on your website. And she said, "What do you need that for?" I said, "Because I want to make. I don't want glossy baits. I want them flat." And she said, "Why?" She said, "It's weaker." I said, "Yeah, but it looks awesome." And she said, Okay. She said, that's the only reason. I was like, yeah. I was like, I paint fishing lures, lady. I was like, leave me alone. Like, I'm not trying to paint like a damn Harley Davidson, uh, some rare Indian motorcycle tank. Like, I'm painting fishing lures. They're gonna get lost. They're gonna get thrown in a tackle box. Like, they don't have to last forever. They sit in a damn museum piece. So just sell me my damn flattening agent. Um, but I have talked to numerous people, professional anglers that I would trust to know their shit. Um, Mainly smallmouth guys, uh, and they have told me that there are times in clear water where that makes a difference for smallmouths, like a matte finish jerkbait versus a glossy one in super clear water. Um, but for when you start getting into sheens, to me, it's just strictly aesthetics. Um, if there's a bait I know I'm going to abuse, I typically am not going to spray matte finish on it. Um, but if there's something I want to look, that deserves the color, then I will certainly put it on there. But uh, so if you're a smallmouth guy on your jerk baits, might be worth looking into. Um, I think crawls look awesome with it. Uh, Even though I don't think a crawl underwater is very matte looking. Um, had a guy tell me I would Scotch Brite some of my mirror lures I'd catch snook that were spooky. John D, it certainly didn't make a difference. Because, like we said earlier, they just turned glossy shiny as soon as they hit the water. Uh, are we talking wind on Kentucky Lake? Uh, yeah, it can get rough on old K Lake. That's for damn sure. Darius, what is the deal with that damn place? So, like, the current runs backwards there. Like, the current runs from like New Johnsonville towards Kentucky Dam, because it was really confusing when I was there because I kept telling people I was running down the river like towards New Johnsonville, and they were like, "No, that's up the river." I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, it flows backwards." They said, "So if you're going upriver, you're going south, but if you're going downriver, you're going up north." I was like, "Well, that's stupid." Like, you can't, like, to me, no matter which way the current flows, like, north is north. You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to get somebody, if you're trying to tell somebody, to go to Canada and you're on the Tennessee River at Kentucky Lake, you don't tell them to go downstream. It runs south towards the north. That's weird. That's really weird. Um, but it was really confusing. I was like, why can't we just call south south and north north, and forget about which way the current runs? But uh, jumps in the Ohio River. Very odd. Very odd. So dumps in the Ohio River. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. But I remember that happening the first my first tournament day there. I was sitting there and I was waiting on the current to start running, and I threw I don't know if anybody uses these anymore. These may be antiquities, but I had a marker buoy, and I threw it out. And I was watching my marker buoy, and it was out there just bobbling in the wind, doing nothing. It was slick, like there was no current. And I sat there and I would just cast it. I was just casting at the hole, and no bites, nothing. And dude, the guy, my observer, was looking down, and he's like, "Look at your buoy." And I looked over at it, and it had this little current seam behind it, and it was coming from the south down. So I guess they were releasing water, and I said, "That looks like the water's moving." And he said, "It's time, bro." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's about to go down." And dude, it wasn't the next cast after that current started trickling behind my buoy. 3-pounder drills my crankbait and comes up there and just dives up, does a Shamu move, and dude went dude went berserk because he told me, he was like, "Man," he's like, I observed a guy yesterday um, that that ran to Barkley, and we were in like, I don't know, he was in like an 18-foot Triton or like a 17-foot Triton or something little bitty, and he said I ran all the way up there with him, and he said he didn't know his head from a hole in his ass, and he said the wind picked up, it was rough. He's like, that damn little boat beat me to death. He's like, we went up there and like fished some riprap or something, and he's like, he didn't catch shit. He's like, so on top of not catching anything and a terrible boat ride up there or down there, whichever way you would like to put it, he said then I had to get my brains beat in with no fish all the way back down, and so he's like, this 1 3-pounder is more action that I've seen all day yesterday, and I didn't have to get my teeth kicked in. I was like, well, that's fun, and I said, glad I could you know be of some entertainment. But he could you could, if you so chose, you could let your observer net fish for you, and that's always kind of risky because you don't really know if you've got a stabber in your boat. And this guy was, he was a stabber, but he was like, he was good. Like I actually knew the guy. I've never met him, but I knew he had a reputation around Alabama, and I knew him, and the dude was new as shit. And I was basically quizzing him the whole time because I knew who he was. And anyway, he had caught this big bag of fish like on this river, and it was like legendary. You know what I mean? Like everybody had heard about this. Like it was like a 30-something pound bag, and I think the dude caught it in like February or March or something like that. And the dude got in my boat, and I was like, "Are you the dude that caught the like 32 pounds at wherever?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How'd that go?" He's like, "Caught them all on the damn ribbit." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It was awesome." It's like black ribbit. I was like, how about that shit? But um, but yeah, it was fun. We caught them. Needed that current. My lake in this end of the state is mountain on each side. It drains the Appalachian Mountains, runs through Alabama, Tennessee, and dumps into the Ohio River. Cumberland the same way, makes up Lake Barkley. Darius, when I bought my boat, I bought it in at what's the name of that place? I bought it in Paducah at Angler Edge. I think was the name. I had my bill of sale in here forever ago. Oh, here's a 6 cents bill of sale. Let's see what's in this. But anyway, it was on. This is pretty awesome. Testing stencils out. I think it was Angler's Edge. But anyway, I bought my boat from them, and they asked me, they said, "You want to go test drive it?" I said, "Sure." So, we took it down to the river right there in Paducah, and dude, talk about current. Like that river was flying, and I could see where people like if you launch somebody right there to test drive a boat, like you better know your shit putting it back on the trailer because the boat ramp runs straight into the river. So when you're coming back up to put the boat on the trailer, you're going against like a 10-mile-an-hour current. So I would hate to see what they did with like shitty boat drivers because that would be a damn mess. But once once I once they backed the trailer down and I started looking at it, I was like, damn, this is it's gonna take some precision. But I didn't dig the boat up. I nailed it. I nailed it first stroke. Um, thought Cumberland dumped into a different lake. I think is the name. Let's have a picture. I'm gonna go. Doesn't the Cumberland run into Old Hickory? In the bottom end of Old Hickory, Cumberland River? I'm not sure. I don't have my map out. Vince, what's up, dude? So let's see what I ordered. This is from August 31st, 2017. I ordered 300 number 4 black nickel VMC hooks with split rings. I ordered 206 black nickel VMC hooks with split rings. I ordered 100 number 1 VMC hooks with split rings. And 17 stock custom baits. Don't know what those are. And then I ordered 3D eyes for a grand total of $256.23. Don't know why I still have that, but throw it in the pack. We drifted 24 miles and drifted 28 miles in 4 hours on Cumberland River in Burnsville. We was drifting 4 or 5 miles an hour. Jeremy, were you trying to fish or were you just cruising? Man, got a lot of this stuff. Every crawl pattern I've ever sprayed. All right, let's see here. Take a guide trip to stripers. Did y'all catch them? Did you take sandpaper and sand down the shad so they looked dull. Eric, defend yourself. Where are you? I know you're lurking. Shit knows about the worst trip. That's unfortunate. Too much current. Gots to have current. Yeah, y'all needed some making scissors dull. Nah, bro, I'm sharpening them. Sharpening them. It's the opposite. Morgan, did you sand the finish off all your crankbaits last night? Seen more with a swim bait than we did with live bait. Yeah, I would think a swim bait would probably work better in that current. You'd have to have a pretty hefty sinker on your shad to get it to drift right, I would think. Let's see. I got to do some eyeball removal. I'm still, for the life of me, cannot understand these bait makers when they sell blank baits. They glue the damn eyes on. They're just out to get us painters. Ha! We gotta try and save these. There we go. Number 2. Freshy. All right. Use planer boards. That's interesting. All right. We got 3 out of 4. What's going to happen to the last one? Oh, it fell off. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, we saved them all. All right, now I can put a little sandy job on this thing. See if I can sand this damn Sharpie marker off. I think the only time I scuffed the finish on a bait was on a couple shad wraps to dull them down. Marty, unless they came in today, I still haven't got those others. Tony Maha bunker spoons. South Jersey? It's probably because they don't know they exist. Morgan, you missed the first part of the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said that publicly. Good old glide baits. Marty got in B2 style bait with a clear lip. Some round-bodied balsa. I do. Where's my Burns bees? That's kind of semi-round. You could always buy one of these from wherever that place is in Order about 40 of them so you can dick up about 35 lip slots trying to cut them on a round body. Then you might be able to get 5 good ones if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Y'all into this are y'all into swiveling hook hangers? I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. Actually, I'm the opposite. What is this? 5 hundo burns. I'm going to cut this and not rip it. How many of y'all have ever tried to build your own bait? Just out of curiosity. I know Morgan has. I think it's a good move for any angler out there to kind of gain an appreciation for building and painting. Looks pretty matte finish to me. Perfect. No, I think that's what I don't know, dude. Like, you know, like something that sits there for a while, like a jerk bait. But I don't think guys that typically smallmouth fish. I don't know. Y'all tell me if you fish for smallmouths up north, what is the percentage of times you catch a fish like really? It seems like the majority of like jerkbait bites guys get on is like like working them, and like when you get down to like the Ozarks and like down around that area, you know, Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee River, you start seeing, or like herring lakes and stuff like that, you start seeing more like slow jerkers, pauses, that kind of stuff. Which I could see if you're fishing for smallmouth in like super clear water, and you have you're on a bite that's got like a long pause, where it would make a difference, but when they really have to stare at it. But Daniel, supposedly, by having a fixed hook hanger, when the fish bites the bait and gets hooked, it can torque against the fixed hook hanger and supposedly use the weight of the bait to like torque the hook out. I don't know that I don't know that I'm buying it. Maybe so. I really don't think so. But I'm kind of pessimistic by nature anyway. So I can see the flat finish working at times and really, yeah. I mean, I'm not against it, Burns. I don't think it's completely worthless. I think it looks awesome. Um, uh, Morgan, I don't my biggest non-fishing beef with swiveling hook hangers is trying to take split rings on and off of it. That really, uh, I've probably come closer to hooking myself with swiveling hook hangers than I have with any fixed hook hanger. Um, so I don't know. I don't care for them, obviously. This thing's got some weird stuff going on. Flat looks the flat just looks cool. That's pretty much what it boils down to, I think. Which is what I think is the whole deal anyway. That's cool. Got one of those new BGC gills. Doesn't look like a gill. It looks like a shad with a gill plate, but uh, still a nice, clean built bait. Uh, and Kevin is great to do business with. He's a straight shooter, builds nice baits, very consistent. I like Kevin a lot, so he's always been good and helpful and communicative to me. So I give Kevin at BGC 2 thumbs up. Whether I think his bluegill looks like a shad or not, that is irrelevant. But his old bluegill looked like a damn bluegill. Um, the flat finish with the wood grain does look titties, John. You are correct. Whoever this guy is, he builds a really nice bait too. I don't know what his name is, but his baits are real pretty, and he can paint pretty good too. So hats off to this guy. Does a good job. Whoever he is. KCF. Whoever that is. Come on, guys. Quit using the 3 letters for your bait company. It's getting old. BGC, KGB, KCF, FMEC, BDD. Like, how could you ever expect anybody to remember the name of your shit when it sounds like 50 different other people's? SMD, SMH, LOL, PCP. FU2, my new bait. That's a good one, Burns. FU2. It's like every time you wake up, you see some new three letter bait company. I guess I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. I mean, I would think if you're new, you'd want to stand out, right? Not blend in, but I guess that's what makes us all different. Well, this guy sells a lot of baits, and he's got 3 letters in his name, and this guy sells a lot of baits, and he's got 3 letters in his name. Let me just jump in bed with them and try. But regardless of however many letters are in this guy's name, his baits are pretty. I kind of don't want to paint it because I think it looks real nice the way it is, but not my job. Did you see that buzzbait Kenta is working on? It looks like it might have a custom Ryugi hook. That sounds nice. I'm always interested in a new buzzbait. Hope it has a skirt on it. Burns, do you think so? That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Oh, what this guy's clear coat is. It smells. Interesting. South Jersey, you know better. We don't talk about them. We don't talk about them. Is that the one with the jointed bill? The hinged bill? Look at that thing scuffed. It's ready to fish now. Exactly. Now it'll catch a fish. Wouldn't get bit before. Now it certainly will. What's it called? The scamp. No. They're the scum of the earth, South Jersey. So, oh, I won't even talk about it. But they blocked me. I've never had any conversations with these people a day in my life. There's never been an interaction between me and that company. And somebody said, "Hey, check this shit out they ripped off from you." I go to look at it, can't find them. Or he sent me a post, and the guy sent me the post on Instagram and said, "Check this out." I said, "I can't see it." He's like, "What do you mean you can't see it?" I said, "It says unavailable. I can't see it." He's like, "Dude, they fucking blocked you." I was like, "Why?" That's interesting. So yes, that company is a bunch of fucking tool bags. I would love to meet them. Say, hey, who's in charge of ripping off paint jobs and blocking profiles on Instagram from the guy you ripped his shit off from? Whose job is that? Fucking losers. But yeah, I don't like talking about them. Not only did they get me, they got AJ too, wherever he's at. They got AJ real good. South Jersey, of course they did, because they're bottom suckers, dude. They literally don't have an original thought in any of their minds. They just browse the internet and just suck life out of everything else and call it their own. Like literally, they're the most piece of shit company in the entire industry. They are garbage. Mother, tell you to not to walk away. Dude, I used to love Danzig until I've heard what a total tool he was. And I always thought he was like this. Funny thing about Glenn Danzig, when the Mother, what was it, Mother 92 video came out, I guess in 1992 or 94 somewhere. I guess it was 92. The Mother video came out, and I remember seeing that video and I was thinking, damn, Glenn Danzig is a beast. Like he's ripped, got good, like he's got good size, and he's just like a damn beastly dude. Rock, metal guy. Like he had the whole package. It was it's cool. So then, like much later on, like I get to college, and like the internet starts blowing up, and uh, and I find out that Glenn Danzig is like 5'6". I'm like, oh, no wonder he looked like a damn brick shit house because he's damn 4 feet tall. Like, of course he looks like a damn linebacker. Like growing up as a kid, when I would watch that video, I was thinking he was like 6'4" and just like stacked. No, he just he's just a little guy with a Napoleon complex. Give it 2 more weeks, Marty. You get ice again. Oh, Morgan, I can tell you the first time I heard that song, um, I was probably, how old would I have been? In 92, I would have been, in 93, I would have been 10. So I'd have been 9. So we changed, moved houses to a different part of the world, or to the different part of the city of Mobile. And so we had just gotten to the neighborhood. I was 9, and I was walking around the neighborhood, checking things out. And I see I'm walking up the street, and there's this guy that's probably in like high school, and he's got a Jeep Cherokee, and it's parked in his front yard, and the dude's out there washing his Jeep Cherokee. And later, Daniel. And I'm walking up the street, and this dude's scrubbing his car, and he has got Mother playing at like 200 decibels, dude. Like you could hear it like across the neighborhood. And I walk up and I heard it, and like hearing it loud is like even better. And like after hearing that, I was like, "What is that song?" So I went home and like called the radio station or something. It was like, "Hey, what's the song that says Mother a bunch?" Or somehow I figured out what the song was, and loved it ever since. But that was the first time I ever heard it. Stuck in my brain. First time I ever heard the Talking Heads, uh, "Girlfriend Is Better," was orientation at the University of Alabama. My first day, I was walking up the store to get like a drink or something, and there was a dude washing his car in the front yard of his house, college kid, and he had the Talking Heads playing like as loud as he could blast it. Oh, you took the money, you took the money away. But anyway, so I heard that and like I was like, damn, I like that. Talking Heads got put into the rotation. So that's how I find all my new music. If I drive around and see a young person washing their car, just roll the window down, cruise by, put your ear out, and say, "See what this guy's got going on." Now it probably wouldn't work. Jeremy, just talking about Glenn Danzig being a little guy, and I always thought he was huge. When I was 9, I thought he was a giant badass. Turns out he was just a little Napoleon, non-badass. It's a lot of bait, dude. I painted the first run of these, I think. It's a lot of bait. This is a bass jack in '92. Burns. I would have probably picked up a. Yeah, Jeremy, that's the mothership. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm guessing this is. Yeah, I think I did the first run of these, or the prototypes or something. I painted a bunch of them at some point. I think it was the first ones, but I had to like make all new stencils for it because it's so damn huge. Like, if I'd have put my standard stencil on it, it would have like swallowed it. But they're cool. Yeah, mothership. Or something I can compare it to. Norman Middle Inn. Burns, there's your size comparison. Pretty excessive. Uh-oh. I just sanded up another sneeze. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, Jeremy, there's a lot wrong with this bait in my opinion. From a bait building point, anything this tall. Uh, anything this tall, uh, a fish is obviously not going to get in his mouth very readily. So you're basically just looking for a snag in the side of the head, under the lip. Maybe this hook gets in their mouth, but I mean, I'm not really looking at this bait as like something that is a very high hookup ratio bait. I wouldn't say hookup ratio. You can probably snag them pretty good, but I don't know that you're like getting. Like, I would like to know what the percentage of hookups inside the mouth are. Um, but these tall baits I think are dumb. Um, why not put the odds in your favor uh, and just make something that's a little, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, bass, no matter how big they get, uh, all the big ones I've caught, I've always had medium-sized bluegill in there. They never have like, you never see fish with bluegill this size stuffed down their gullets hardly. Like, you'll see them with giant gizzard shads, but once a bluegill gets big and its dorsal fins are like damn pitchforks, it makes it hard to eat. All their fins get really hard, really long. Uh, Like I don't see this size bluegill as being like attractive. You might get bites from just like aggression and like that kind of stuff, but I don't think this is like a a good eating size meal. Uh, yeah, and I think I'm with you, Jeremy. I think the right fish tries to eat this thing, and that damn dorsal fin goes through their damn brain. Uh, but yeah, I mean, but that's why I would never personally build this because of all those things. It doesn't make sense to me. Not to say it shouldn't exist or it won't get bit or anything, but I don't like anything about what it would do in a fishing scenario. Uh, so swim was ass. Uh, that's what I'm saying, Jeremy. I just don't like. I don't feel like a fish looks up at a gigantic bluegill and says, "Holy shit, I can't wait to eat that." Like that's going to be just an easy snack. No. Uh, but a big like a gizzard shad this size, I think they would certainly. We've all seen them with big ass gizzard shads stuck down their mouth, but they have soft fins and they're more, you know, easily digested. This would uh, this would be dangerous if it were a real life bluegill. But I guess it's just a profile thing. I don't know. Sorry, before I got dumb and decided contraction work was my future. I honestly think the native gills are right size and profile. Well, there you go, Jeremy. That's that, and I think that is pushing the limit of bluegill. Like I think that's like the maximum size I would go to try and mimic a bluegill. And I don't care how big of a fish we're talking. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's just kind of where that profile should end. Um, like if you want something bigger, I think you just need to go to shads and trouts and leave the fucking bluegill out of it because I don't think it's like a necessary thing. Um, like if you want a 10-inch bait, get you a 10-inch shad or get you a 10-inch whatever trout, carp, something. Uh, so, but I guess people fish these things. I don't know. But I mean, honestly, there's some days that it doesn't really matter what it is as long as it's huge. You can get a bite. You know what I mean? Like, but I just wouldn't feel very confident. Yeah, baby bass. That would be perfect. Um, but something this tall from here to here, that's the part that doesn't really make any sense to me because that'd be pretty difficult. I've had muskie grab 3-pound smallmouth. That's fun. Did you ever land any of those? Dude, this thing is obnoxiously big. Like sanding one section of this is like sanding an entire bait. And I've painted a ton of UFO stuff. And honestly, as bad as it sounds, I don't know the guy who makes these. I don't know his name. Uh, and I've literally painted hundreds of his baits, but I always just called him like UFO dude. I don't know if that was ever an exchanging of names. I think it was just like hey, will you paint some baits for me? Sure, send them to me. Mother Chaser. No, somebody told me they were going to send me one of those, but it never. I don't think he got the bait. How many of those did they make? Do y'all know, Brendan? How many Mother Chasers they built? Damn, this thing's huge. Like I keep sanding on it, and I'm like, oh, we got another whole section to do. I'd like to know the amount of resin that this thing takes to pour. It's got to be a lot. What's this thing weigh? Any guesses? Any guesses on a weight? Almost half a pound. $7.4. It's a lot of bait, dude. It's a lot of bait. Weighs more than a 250. Is the 250 the gold standard? Like, is that the greatest hard swim bait ever built? Could we agree on that? And I don't think Black Dog Bubba is gigantic. Yeah, we're talking hard swim baits. Glide. I mean, I don't think you could. What else would you put it up against in the swim bait category? As far as success, big fish success, like across the nation for the longest amount of time, I would think the 250 would have to be the ruler of the land. The standard. How long's that bait been out? $12 years. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty good while. Pretty good while. But I've painted for some dudes that preferred to remain anonymous out in California. Ugh, what is that smell? Oh, it's that damn wax. Ugh. Anyway, I painted some baits for these guys, or this dude out in California, and I feel like that's like the standard of bait. Like back in the day, like those fish were super pressured, super finicky, like in the Southern California lakes. Um, and I feel like if you could get a bait that produced out there, you had something. But now that they don't go through the ringers, like I feel like early swim bait days, if your bait needed to go through Southern California to get like approved, you know what I mean? Like if you had something legit and those guys got it and they like caught fish on it, it was like real legit. But those days are gone. Um, but I was painting some shit for this dude that was like a uh, you know a way back swim baiter in Southern California, and he was like, here's the deal with I won't tell the story. That'll be a Patreon story. It's good, but he thought there was something to the 250. But he explained to me why and like all the differences and all these other baits. And he's like, I've thrown everything, dude. And he's like, here's why these three are like the ones. It's cool. Anyway, so this wasn't on the list. Some DTs. Oh, come on. I don't get throwing them really big swim baits for bass. A lot of my offshore fishing baits are not that big. I don't know. It's titillating to some, Kyle. Um, world record wasn't caught on a 10-inch plus bait. Uh, biggest swim bait fish has either been on a Spro Rat 50 or a Spro Rat 6 or a Spro 6-inch. Um, how many 6-pounders have you caught on a 1.5? I don't know that I've ever caught a 6 on a 1.5. But I typically don't throw a 1.5 a ton. But you can't start arguing conventional versus swim baits, because if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I mean, how many 6s has a damn Cinco caught? You know what I mean? Like, in the world of numbers of fish caught per bait, I would like to see it graphed out though. Like I'm sure they're I mean, there's obviously grounds to stand on for bigger bait catching bigger fish, and there's probably a smaller percentage of people throwing bigger stuff. Uh, but if you go out and you throw a swim bait all day, how many 6s did you potentially miss out on by not fishing conventional? Yeah, you do up your odds when you're, but I don't think you necessarily have to do that with a big bait to target a big fish. Like I target 5 to 6 pounders without throwing swim baits. And it's not about using the bait. It's about knowing where they live and how to get them to react. But if you can do that with a swim bait easier than you can do it with something else, then I guess. But I think that all boils down to like fish behavior and being able to pattern fish. I think probably a swim bait might be maybe make that easier, um, because you've got the draw and the size on your side. Um, I don't know. Interesting concepts. I don't know. I think 6 pounder is is not the best size to use. I would say I would say eight plus, because I feel like sixes are still kind of dumb at times. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. The world will never know, I guess. You got to be around them. I think that's the number one thing. Like if like the big fish whatever day you're fishing are on like the tips of trees, and like that's the pattern that you found them on, and some dude goes out on the lake and he starts fishing like main lake points with rocks with a damn 250, and he's not getting any sixes, but the guy with a damn, you know, bitsy bug knows that all the big fish are patterned on a like tips of a tree bite, like just because the dude's throwing a big bait in clueless water. I think it's all about what you throw, where you throw it. It's all up here, which we've always heard. You know what I mean? Like, Jeremy, you think your fish are smarter than South? You think they're on the level of Southern California guys, like those fish? Time on the water is 100% it. That's what I think that people miss is like you see these guys getting into this damn. Uh, I see them getting into the swim bait world, and they have no, which it's good and bad, because those guys do dumb shit that you would never expect. Like if you had a conventional background, you would probably never do, and it works for them sometimes. But you have guys jump into the swim bait world because it's trendy, and they have no real uh, background of like even conventional fishing. They just go straight to swim bait fishing. So they just start lobbing this giant shit around, and you kind of lose a bit of the. You didn't really learn, go up through the paces of learning fish behavior. Really, you're just doing it with a big ass bait. Um, so I don't know. Fish an 800-acre lake on a Saturday will have 100 plus boats. So you've got what, a boat every 8 acres, or what? That be right? Uh, and you say for your the heaviest as heavy as pressured as the fish are that you fish for, Jeremy. You say your number one product to trick a savvy bass is the Spro Rat. I mean, that's saying something. Because typically, your typical onlooker would say that is not a refined bait, and it shouldn't take a refined fish to, eat that. But they might say they might have something going for the Spro rat. It wasn't a Pat's. What does everybody else do? Like drop shot and shit? Weenie worms? Conventional stuff? Sinkos? Jigs? I don't know what the I don't know what's in the future for Texas fish. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. The thing that they've got on their side is that generally most of the lakes are pretty large. A lot of places to hide. Like those Southern California lakes, they were all small. And what's the Jeremy, that 800-acre lake you fish? What's the biggest bass ever caught out of there? What's the potential of this place? Yeah, what happens during the day on the rat? JP, what's up, dude? Brendan, he said it has the potential to hold a 15. Does that mean a 15 has been landed? Or is there rumor of one? You wonder what's swimming around out there. You know what I mean? Like just in like at Lake Guntersville right now. Like what's the biggest fish swimming around in Lake Guntersville right now? There's an 18-pounder in Guntersville. 17, 16 even. Fish and Game have shocked up a 14 and a 17. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. But they haven't fallen for any trickery yet. You got to go out there with your live crawdads, dude. You got to pull out the old South Florida, Southern California book, and go stitch a crawfish at night. Jimmy, is that why it gets so much pressure? Is because it has had a 14 and a 17 shocked, or is it because it's just a convenient lake to get to for a lot of people? Jeremy's going to be the Bob Creepy of this lake. Most large bass will make it past 19 pounds due to the age and usually die before they can get to the 20-pound range. There's also a few bass, 20-pound bass ever caught. I think only 2 are recorded. There's a 25-pounder at Guntersville. I can certainly say there's not a 25-pounder at Guntersville with great certainty. But I could see there being a I could see there being a 17, 16, maybe 16, 17. Why not? Plenty of shit to eat. Plenty of places for them to get big. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. So if it's a lake, you can catch 6 or 8 in the 3 to 4 pound range or 5 to 6 kick on a day. So it's just a healthy, like, good fishing lake. Just fish whatever bait makes you happy. Yeah, I think that's the moral of the story, Burns. I think I think that is the answer that we're all looking for. For every guy out there throwing a damn mother trying to target the biggest fish on the lake, there's some other dipshit on the side of the other side of the lake with a fucking cricket and a split shot and a bobber that just caught a 13. You hear about it all the damn time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're throwing a damn beetle spin or a fucking Walmart Cordell hotspot or like. At the end of the day, fish what brings you joy. There's big baits and baits that are too big. Yeah, at some point, uh, like lobbing around a damn, uh, a mothership or a Bubba shellcracker or a mother chaser or whatever it is that you want to throw. Like eventually, that can't be fun. Like you're blowing your shoulder out. Like that just doesn't sound like an enjoyable way of spending time on the water. Uh, I would think that would be grounds for causing burnout. All right. 11-inch bull shad. That's a lot of bait. What's an 11-inch bull shad weigh? I mean, if you go to fish an 11-inch bull shad, like how many casts are you making with that a day? Like, is that something you're going to throw from daylight to dark? Or is it like, I'm going to throw this for like a little while and then put it down and then go do something less strenuous? I still want to perfect a floating balsa glide in the 6-inch class because I think that'd be fun to fish. I got to figure out how to get notifications for these things. AJ, I don't know. Here's another interesting thing. Um, so I'm subscribed to Hella's channel. I have all the notifications and all that bullshit turned on. Um, and when I pull up, like when I pulled up, he was streaming last night. When I pulled up my stream or my like home screen on my app, Hella's stream was not at the top. It was not 10 down. Like I had to physically type in Hella Bass in the search, pull up his channel, and then go to the live stream. and I did it like 4 times, and even after I had watched it like 2 or 3 times, and like had to close my phone and get out of it, I would go back to the home screen, and it still wouldn't recommend it to him. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on? Uh, they don't like me, AJ. There you go. I'm the gatekeeper, Jeremy. I'm the gatekeeper of all the evening streams. 6 ounces. I think I throw in areas. I know what big pressure is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was really pissing me off, Brennan, because I subscribe to Hella and I interact on his chats and all that kind of shit. Give him likes, all that kinds of things. Yet still, um, still, it won't, like, because of the interaction I've had with him and his channel. Um, when he goes live, it should be in my first home screen. Should be at the top. Smallmouth Crush typically is if I you know if Travis is streaming and I pull up my phone, it'll be. But sometimes it's not. Like here lately, it hasn't been. I guess they're trying to not push lives. Uh, is what it looks like. Is that they're trying to let the lives slip. Talking on break, the thumbs up. Yeah, it wasn't a roast. It was a debunking of a hack. We debunked the scuffing a bait to make it not glossy, because when it hits the water, it's glossy again. That's what I don't understand, Burns, is like why they really need to fix their algorithms back to like organic. I mean, I know that's a thing of the past. Like we're way far gone past that, uh, but it's really a shame. The people you literally talk to on a daily basis don't get recommended to you. The frog feathers and rattles. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Uh, I haven't heard any real good. Uh, the one that really, this isn't an Eric or a Hella hack. This is a Block It hack. But the one that really like made me kind of, and I thought I'd heard them all at this point. You know what I mean? Because they get passed around and regurgitated, and with the way the internet is, everybody's got a YouTube channel and they all want to put out a hack video, and they pretty much everything's out there. Um, but the one that Block It did, where he took a Zoom lizard or whatever soft plastic, and he like rolled it around and like broke up the salt and shit. I had always thought that soft plastics seemingly got bitten, like they got bit better once they had been chewed on a little bit. Um, and I saw him doing that, and I was like, I don't know that I'll ever do that, but it seemingly makes sense because I always figured, like, I always kind of convinced myself that it had something to do with like the salt breaking down and like them being able to taste it. Maybe I don't know, but it seemed like there was maybe something to that. And then I saw Blockett do it, where he like said he broke up the salt. So that actually makes kind of sense. So uh, I will say Blockett's little Swimbait hack was about the dumbest shit I've ever seen. To where he like cuts the sides off and he's like, "Look how awesome that looks." It's like that does not look awesome. That looks like a damn piece of shit. People hate on do it molds because they are a rough texture. I mean, you cover that shit up with powder paint, you don't see it anyway, right? Anthony dips accent. Not a bad way to start your day. He takes all his old accent, throws it in the bottom of the bait, then puts it in a coffee grinder and a Copenhagen can, and gets him a good pinch of accent. Oh, they're soft plastic molds. I've never seen one of their soft plastic molds. Yeah, that's the other thing, South Jersey. That's the problem with the internet now, is that if you have enough followers and you're dialed in enough, you can look like a golden god and take credit for whatever you want to. Um, just like that. Like there's shit people have been doing forever, and if you've got a big follower base, you can throw it out there, and then everybody thinks that's yours, right? Same thing with painting. It's the same thing in the fishing world. Like if you have uh, a huge distribution of your bait, and you're like Rapala, and you take dipshit Tackle Crafts uh, crankbait design and put it on your bait and sell 10 million of them across the world. To the world, Rapala did a great job on that. But to the 18 people watching this and the other 30 people that see shit I post on social media, they probably know the truth. So it doesn't like they're never going to catch shit from it because what do they care? They have a million people thinking they're gods, while there's 20 people over here going, "Hey, you're rude." You don't have a gift card. Ooh, sorry, AJ. I didn't win the damn contest, bro. Sorry, I didn't win the painting contest. I know of two 12s over the last few years out of Kentucky Lake. Daryl, that's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid bass. If you're saying that you're 15, then you need to get to stop watching TK's Lane, which is not G-rated. Daryl, yeah, put your earphones on, earbuds, earplugs, maybe. It was funny. I always wanted a when I was growing up, and I don't have to use foul language, but it's sometimes if I get triggered, I might speak freely. But me and my buddies used to always talk about like all the fishing shows were always very PC, and I was like, why is there not like a fishing show with some like people like us that like when you break off a fish or like you lose a big one, you don't just go, gosh darn it, dag nabbit, lost my fish. Like people like that's not the real world. You know what people say in the real world. And like shit breaks, and like you don't. I always wanted a like when I was in like high school. I was like, wow, I wish they'd have like a HBO fishing show where it's just like raw language and like just like real stuff. But it's the same thing with hunting. Like I can't I can't even stomach watching a hunting show anymore. When dudes start talking about their farms and all this kind of shit, and it's like, dude, get out of here. Oh, we've been watching this buck for 6 years. Jiminy crickets. Good one, South Jersey. Everybody needs to go watch the Mercer and Matt Robertson episode. They just went up. Matt talks about that hardcore. I will check that out then, Jeremy. Um, but yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that anybody's done it yet. Uh, Not that I've been able to. I've never noticed anybody being able to do that. But I think the reason why is because people start these channels and they want to appeal to the masses. They want to get as many clicks and as many views as they can. If they use foul language and they say, and they have potty mouths, they're going to turn some people off and they're going to offend some people and they're going to get canceled and they're going to be scum of the earth. So everybody plays it safe, cleans up the language, appeals to the masses. I don't like that. If you miss a fish, you want to say fuck, go for it. You want to say poo poo, say poo poo. But don't say it because the internet tells you to say it, right? Because you think somebody's going to unsubscribe because you said a dirty word. Hunting shows have turned into some grand cinematic production just for them to not kill anything. Yeah. That's the other thing, Morgan, is like, I don't know. It's just unappealing. Like when these people are like, "Oh, we've had pictures of this deer for 4 years, and he just won't walk out," and then you like, lo and behold, there he comes, and they're like, it's like November, and they've been hunting primitive, you know, primitive weapon in August. They hunted some season in September. Then they hunted bow season in October, and then like they're back to hunting some other seasons. Like you've literally been in the woods for like 4 months already. You've been watching this deer for 4 years. Like, is it really that exciting that it walked out and you shot it? Like, who gives a shit? I mean, that's like having a pond behind your house and going out and live scoping the same fish every day, and then after a couple years, it finally bites. It's like, oh, caught it. Like a Mogul News said, most people on YouTube force a personality because it's appealing or don't want to seem like a dick. Later, Frank. Um, bro hunting. Uh, the Slockmaster. I don't know him. Which I don't. I don't have any way of watching uh, hunting shows, but well, Morgan, the reason for that is they probably need to put their content on YouTube, and probably YouTube frowns upon uh, kills. So they're gearing all their shit now to like not even killing a deer. I don't know. Everybody wants to play by the rules. Shoots ducks with a bow and arrow. Wow. It's a game of who can grow the biggest deer. Yeah. That's true, South Jersey. You don't have to worry about offending people when they meet you in real life and then run home and tell all their friends what a dick you are. If you're just a dick to begin with, no big deal. Golden shad. Dennis, it's already a golden shad, bro. Huh. Let's see what I can do with these. That'll be interesting. I don't know what this is, Burnsy. Some sort of weird Dennis the Menace bait. He finds some oddities. Tennessee Bassmaster, what's going on? My favorite hunting show is those duck hunting dudes that do the duck camp cooking. They go and hunt, and then they go. So I got that Jean-Paul Bourgeois guy or whatever his name is. The dude that's the cook, and they go shoot stuff, and then they bring it back to the camp and let him cook it. That's my favorite hunting show. Meat Eater show, yeah, that's what it is. It's Meat Eater. Meat Eater. I think it's called like the Duck Camp series or something. I don't know. But South Jersey shooting a grizzly at 5 yards between the eyes is pretty crazy. Dude, that's pretty. That's above my pay grade. They can have that shit. They can have that. All right, 342. Let me go get these baits cleaned up, and I gotta get all these. I gotta go drill some eyeballs out. But it'll be good. Thanks for sticking around for the congestion podcast today. The crud. Let me see. What did you say his name is, Jeremy? The Slock Master, Tim Wells. Let me look him up right now so I don't forget. What's a death wish? What's a death wish, Burns? Oh, dicking with a grizzly bear. Tim Wells. Bow hunting deer. Let me see this guy. Blowgun baboons? Dude shot a baboon with a blowgun? A bear killed with blowgun? Get some D and zinc. All right, I'll look that up. That'll be good. Take it easy.